Howdy peeps, hope you're doing well. So, I hope you've been enjoying the last couple of videos that I've been doing over the last sort of couple of days. I did put, I think, 2 videos out yesterday. Now, I'm not too sure if you guys are getting the notifications, so sometimes it might be worth checking back on the channel to see if I've uploaded a second or maybe even a third video sometimes. Because they're so sporadic, I don't have a specific pattern of how I post, how many or anything like that, and I rarely put, I don't even know if you guys check description boxes or anything like that. I mean, not going to lie, usually it just says, pardon me, usually it just says as per title, because usually that's what it is. Anyway, I've been trying to do a couple of videos recently because there's been some stuff on my mind, as I'm sure you sort of could imagine. People getting involved in toxic situations, which they really shouldn't, they really shouldn't, but it's that thing. Right, so I want to start off talking a bit about, as I've spoken about a previous situation shit. That is definitely not a Freudian slip then. About that sort of what gone on. I know I've spoken on it in the past, so some of you guys might have heard it already anyway. But it's that thing. One thing you need to seriously understand about toxic people, particularly NPD or BPD, and I don't mean bipolar, I mean borderline, right? Just because there is a difference. Some people don't know the differences between the two, but there are, and I'm not going to go into it here. Now, as I've sort of been saying in my other videos, it's like the sort of ultimate key for these guys is to have total control over you, right? And they will use any means possible in order to do that. Now, one of the things that I found out the hard way, it was that thing of after being in this relationship and things weren't panning out, and when you're not happy in a relationship and you're thinking, well, you don't want to throw it all away, you've worked a long time to get to where you're at, and you're like, no, let's try and there's no reason to like be unreasonable and just destroy everything that everything they've touched. There's no reason to break it down, because you see at this point a lot of the time people still do not know that is what they're involved in, right? Because they don't get it. They're still in particular when, because it's one of those real lonely relationships, man. It's the only way I can describe it. I've never been in a relationship that, despite living under the same roof, sleeping in the same bed, I've never been so alone, right? That's basically that's the only way I can explain it, how it is, right? So anyway, I said to this chick, I said, look, I said, we're being together this long. I said, you're always off doing your thing. There's never any us time. You're not interested in my hobbies, but you always want me to go to yours, right? There needs to be a bit more give and take. Well, as I'm sure you can imagine, that went down really well. Not. And they'll do all the usual scenario. They'll put on the tears. They'll put on the crocodile tears, I might want to point out. They're not actually, because again, you've got to remember that they're just actors and actresses, however it applies, right? That's all that they are. They're just actors and actresses. They're very fucking good at it, right? And so it was like a case of like, right, meet in the middle. And she's like, oh, I don't want to break up. And I'm like, well, we're going to have to do something. I said, because, otherwise this isn't a give and take relationship. This isn't what I signed up for. And if you're not willing to do this, then we're just going to have to, sell up and just go our separate ways. It's the only way forward, because at that point I'd signed documents, you see. And again, there was a whole palaver with that, which is worth talking about. When it come down to me needing to get the documents to take them to the estate agents, all of a sudden the documents weren't where they usually are. Now, they'd been there for like 1.5 years, 2 years, maybe 3, I can't remember. But that's where they were kept. And of course, when I went to go and get them, they got moved. And of course, when I questioned it, oh yeah, no, they should be there. She knew full well that they weren't there, right? She'd moved them. Right. She'd moved them to her bag to take to her lawyers, solicitors, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, but that's just an aside. That's just another sort of thing. Like, again, gaslighting. So you're wasting your time looking for something that ain't there, that they know ain't there, and probably having a little giggle about it at the same time, I dare say. But anyway, now for starters, the fact that I try to take, and this is how they, you know, from their perspective, this is how you have to see it if you think you're in a toxic relationship, right? Now, they don't like it when they don't have control of the relationship, right? They have to be on the reins all the time. You probably noticed this. You probably just didn't want to admit it to yourself, right? Like I said, it comes down to that. All the little tricks that they play, trying to alienate you from your friends, maybe do a bit of shit stirring, or maybe they'll do the opposite, right? Maybe they'll insult all your friends. Maybe they'll do that, right? That's a thing as well, right? They'll try and convince you that all your friends are bad, right? Or they'll do it the other way, whereas they'll convince your friends, oh yeah, behind closed doors, this person does this. They treat me like that. They speak to me like the other. And it's all, you know as well as I do, if you're here for the right reasons, right? It's all a fucking lie, right? Anywho, anyhow. When it come down to me, and this is something that you really need to pay attention. When I called that card and I'm like, look, you know, either we do something or we're going our separate ways, right? Well, then what tends to happen, this is the cycle that it goes in. You go almost back to the beginning, so you get a bit more idealisation, putting you up on a pedestal, you'll get all the love bombing, you'll get all the sex bombing and all that. And then you'll get the discard again. And then from this point, depending on what they're trying to achieve, right? Because this is so subjective, right? If they're trying to get with you to get a house or something like that, just as an example, right? Obviously they'll, in some cases that they might wait long enough so that there's more of a legal, they've got more of a legal ground to stand on, so that they've got more, I hate this word, entitlement, you know, so they've got more chance of getting the house, especially, you know, especially if you're the guy, and especially if, you know, you've had kids with them, right? It's just out and out manipulation and abuse. It's exactly what it is. It's abuse of a system put in by governments supposedly to support single mums, right? Which it does at the cost of men, generally speaking. Look, we very rarely win in these situations, right? I'm just saying, right? Now, in that given situation, neither of us, depending on how you win, how you see us winning, I won because I got my freedom back, right? I wasn't married to her, didn't have kids with her, put me through a whole shit ton of mental fucking psychological bullshit that maybe I needed to go through to get to where I am now. But anyway, the sort of point is this, because I've tracked on and gone off on the wrong direction as always. The point is this, is once you try and take control, I mean, they don't like that, so that they will then do the grand finale, right? That's like the end of the pantomime show, or whatever you want to call it, right? You know, curtains down, right? And they have to be the ones that call that shot. You can't be the one. Well, you can, but they won't be very happy about it. And then, like I say, they'll just rinse and repeat. They'll do the same old shit until they get to discard you when they want to discard you. This is what I mean. You'll become their property, right? They don't see you as a human being with your own thoughts, feelings and emotions and needs. No. They don't see any of that shit. It's all about me. Them, obviously, right? And a lot of people don't quite catch on to this, and because, like I say, a lot of the time, with a combination of you know, the sort of love bombing, sex bombing, trauma bond and all that, you know, you end up like a stupid teenager, whilst at the same time you're going through almost cognitive dissonance and Stockholm syndrome all at the same time. Cognitive dissonance being that you know the way they're treating you is wrong, right? And you're making excuses for them, right? Oh yeah, but they've got depression. No, they ain't. They've got, I've already told you guys what they've got, and it ain't depression. They're not claiming to have depression because they get the validation and the feels, right? They don't actually have depression. They don't know how to have depression. Depression isn't a state of mind they comprehend. Neither is love, by the way, right? They never loved you. In fact, the opposite. They fucking hated you. That is why they got with you in the fucking first place. You know the expression, you hate me because you ain't me? That is exactly it. That is exactly it. They hate you because they ain't you, right? And so, in their mind, because they see the good qualities that you have, right? This is just it. They see the good qualities, and because they've got this severe inferiority, fragile ego complex, right? They decide to take it upon themselves, willingly and knowingly, to set up these whole things within the relationship in order to sabotage you, right? That is how that toxic relationship works. And it looks like I'm going to be doing 2 videos actually. And I am actually going to do 2 videos. I'll post the next one after this one. But this is just it. This is exactly what people seriously need to understand. And realistically speaking, and I would say, I'm sorry to say it, but I'm not. I think it's just a thing now. It's just a given that in society, at least from my observations, from what I've seen, the whole NPD, and in terms of traits, not necessarily personality disorder, but definitely in terms of traits, is running rampant throughout women today, right? There's more, I would argue there are more narcissistic women than there are men. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. I mean, I haven't actually done any group data or anything like that. But no, of course, I'm pretty sure, like, as soon as you started doing that, it's like, oh yeah, you just hate women. It's like, no. It's not that anyone hates women. It's just that there's this fucking problem that we have in our society, and it's been noted, and you just don't like the fact that it's been noted. And like I said before, when it comes to women, they take things more emotionally, they take things more personally. Again, another kind of sign of narcissism. Sorry, not sorry, is what it is, you know. And this is just it. And it's just like, people just don't get the gist. They don't fucking love you. They fucking hate you. They hate everything about you. That is why they mirror you in the beginning of the relationship and throughout. This is why they play games. This is why they treat you like shit, because they hate you, because they ain't you. Pricks. Absolute pricks, a lot of them. They are. And again, they don't care what they have to do, you know. And again, it is subjective. They're not all exactly the same. They all use the same fucking playbook. They're all one-trick ponies. There ain't nothing special amongst any of them. They look different, you know. Some are cuter than others, or whatever. If that's, you know, that's a thing. That's as far as it goes, man. They're all still evil, manipulative, and they got no qualms in destroying you or doing whatever it takes to destroy you, you know. And again, like I say, you try and end a relationship. This is what I'm saying. When you want to walk away from these people, man, it's like you close every door before you pull that card. If you manage to fucking just ghost and disappear altogether, and then no one can fucking find you, even better. In fact, that's probably a safer bet, if I'm honest. That's why I say change your number, change your email address, you know. I mean, look, you can just block emails, but it depends. You know, if you're using your email as a specific email address for any social media account, which again, personally, I'd advise steering clear from. Social media is riddled with them. Look at Instagram. Look at Facebook. Enough said, man. But yeah, like I say, it's. I did a video a little while ago, and I think I called it, Did She Ever Love You? Well, when I'm talking about something like this, I think the reference is probably closer to She Never Loved You. Because she didn't. She hated everything. In fact, it's not, a lot of the time, it's not even a past tense even after you walk away, right? She hates you. She's always hated you. She hates the fact that you've got friends. She hates the fact that you've got a personality that's better than hers. She hates the fact, you know, and again, it's just... And like I say, you try dumping them. See what happens. A lot of the time, they'll give you a bit of time. They'll give you a bit of time, then they'll hoover you back up. Oh yeah, let's be friends. Oh yeah, oh maybe we should, yeah, maybe I've changed. Nah, bitch, you ain't changed. You ain't fucking changed. Don't even fucking go there. You ain't changed. You can't change. I'm just saying. And I bet you they're still friends with all of the old groups that they used to be friends with. And I bet they're, to their own degree, maybe not as toxic, but still relatively toxic. And I bet none of them take any accountability for the bullshit that they play when they fucking get involved in their fuckery. I'm just saying. Anyhow, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm thinking someone needed to hear this, so here you go. And you might see me jumping in and out of different characters at the moment. I pick up on people that I'm around sometimes. This is the more me, but it's like the other videos, it's like, nah, you know, I've been hanging around some other motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, till the next one, hope you've enjoyed, hope you can, this is of use in some way, shape or form until the next one, which will be after this one, by the way. Just, I'm not sure when it will be out today, but double check. Till the next one, stay cool, stay free, stay away from these toxic wankers. Peace out.